I always thought suburban America was safe from the kind of drama you only see on trashy daytime talk shows. I mean, this is the land of Costco runs, soccer practice, and barbecues where neighbors argue about whether the grill should be gas or charcoal. But apparently, even the safest neighborhoods hide their own scandals. And mine? Well, mine involved a cheating wife, a suspiciously handsome teacher, and more plot twists than a bad Netflix series. You'd think I'm exaggerating, but let me set the stage. My wife swore she was helping out at our kids' elementary school. Volunteering, the all-American good mom role. Bake sales, story time, PTA meetings. The whole Mom of the Year resume. I should have been proud. But the thing about toxic love is it looks perfect on Instagram. And then behind the scenes, it's nothing but betrayal dressed up in yoga pants. At first, I bought it. Why wouldn't I? She came home smelling like crayons and glue sticks, bragging about helping the teacher organize the art closet. But one day I thought, hold up. Why is she wearing lipstick that looks more Sephora runway than PTA hallway? And why does she come home more tired from cutting construction paper than I do from my actual job? That's when I began connecting dots. And in America, when you start connecting dots, you end up with either a murder board or a conspiracy theory. Sometimes both. My kid, innocent as they come, accidentally let slip that Mommy and Mr. Harris laugh a lot after class. Laugh. A lot. The kind of laugh that echoes in your head and gnaws at you like a bad pop song. And suddenly I realized, this wasn't just PTA business. This was CIA-level cover-up. Forget aliens at Area 51. The real conspiracy was happening in the second-grade classroom. My cheating wife was building a double life under the banner of school spirit, and I was the last idiot to know. Now, any normal man might confront his wife calmly. Not me. I decided to go full detective, suburban noir style. I checked her alibis, her Starbucks receipts, even her Spotify playlists. And that's when I noticed she'd been listening to Toxic by Britney Spears on repeat. Coincidence? Maybe. But when your gut screams infidelity, even Britney starts sounding like a confession. So one morning, I staged my own little revenge plan. Instead of going to work, I followed her volunteer mission. And folks, let me tell you, nothing screams betrayal like watching your wife's car pull up, not to the front of the school where the other moms drop off their brownies, but to the teacher's private parking lot, tucked away behind the gym. I hid like some lunatic in a bush. Yes, the same kind of bush where raccoons plan their nightly crimes. And I saw it with my own eyes. She wasn't carrying cupcakes. She wasn't carrying construction paper. She was carrying betrayal in high heels. Through the classroom window, I saw my wife with Mr. Harris. And not just talking, not just laughing a lot. No, they were locked in the kind of embrace that belongs in a soap opera marathon. The chalkboard behind them had Spelling Test Friday written on it, but apparently the only subject they cared about was cheating. It felt like the American family dream collapsed in one chalk-dusted kiss. And right there, in that absurd, humiliating moment, I had two choices: storm in and demand answers like a man of dignity, or keep hiding in the bush like a rejected reality show contestant. Guess which one I picked? I barged in like I was kicking off the season finale of some ridiculous parody drama. The teacher dropped his marker. My wife gasped like she'd just been caught stealing the Declaration of Independence. And me? I yelled something so melodramatic, I'm embarrassed to repeat it. It was along the lines of, "How dare you betray this family in front of laminated flashcards?" But hey, betrayal makes you lose your cool. Kids in the hallway peeked through the door, probably traumatized forever. The PTA moms whispered for weeks about how the Johnson family meltdown was better than cable. Here's the kicker, though. When I finally confronted her later, my wife had the audacity to say, "It just happened." As if betrayal were a pothole you trip into by accident. As if infidelity were some kind of weather event like a tornado that just swept through our marriage. And me? I sat there thinking, this is what toxic love really is. It's when someone burns the family house down and then shrugs like they forgot to blow out a candle. Now I'm left with the ruins, the shame, the gossip, and a thirst for revenge. The teacher? He got suspended after I went nuclear and reported him to the school board. My wife? She cries at night, but the sound is hollow, like someone practicing sympathy on an empty violin. And me? I don't know yet if I'll stay, leave, or start a YouTube channel about the secret life of cheating wives. But I do know one thing. Betrayal isn't just a wound, it's a conspiracy, a parody of marriage itself. And once you've seen behind the curtain, you can never unsee it. The slow-motion car crash where everyone pretends the airbags are pillows. Let me tell you, finding out you've got a cheating wife is like suddenly learning the family dog can speak fluent English, except all it says is, "I hate you." You think life is normal, then betrayal kicks the door down like it's serving eviction papers on your sanity. After that humiliating classroom scene, I thought things couldn't get worse. But in America, things always get worse, especially when the gossip train leaves the station. Within 24 hours, the entire PTA knew. By the weekend, I swear even the guy at Home Depot who mixes paint colors gave me a sympathetic nod. The family name was shredded like coupons at the checkout. My wife tried damage control, baking extra pies for neighbors, posting wholesome family photos on Facebook, but it just looked like infidelity disguised with powdered sugar. Everyone knew the truth. Mr. Harris had been teaching more than fractions. Now, here's where the story twists into conspiracy territory. Because the more I thought about it, the more I realized this wasn't just an affair. Oh no, this was part of a network, a secret underground society of suburban scandals. What if all those late-night PTA meetings across the country were really code words? What if every bake sale was just cover for betrayal, and every carpool lane was secretly a drop-off point for infidelity rendezvous? I started drawing diagrams on the fridge with magnets, connecting the baseball coach to the librarian, the choir director to the janitor. My kid thought I was playing detective. In reality, I was unraveling the toxic love Illuminati. Meanwhile, at home, my wife tried to gaslight me with the classics. "You're overreacting." It didn't mean anything. Think about the family. Oh yes, the family. The same family she detonated like a 4th of July firework. She wanted forgiveness, but the betrayal was branded into my skull. You can't unsee your cheating wife kissing your child's teacher next to a bulletin board with "Be Kind" posters. It's like trauma wrapped in irony, served with a side of rage. And then came the revenge itch. Americans love revenge stories. From Clint Eastwood to Quentin Tarantino, nothing says justice like payback with dramatic music. I considered my options: slash his tires, spray paint toxic love on the school walls, or maybe sneak into class and replace every lesson plan with notes about betrayal. But I wanted something bigger, something cinematic. So I filed a formal complaint with the school board, not just about the affair, but about how unprofessional conduct compromises the integrity of the American educational system. Yeah, I went full patriot on their asses. The board was horrified. Parents demanded action. Mr. Harris, once beloved for his corny jokes and passion for science fairs, was suspended faster than a kid who brought fireworks to recess. But suspension wasn't enough. No, I wanted the truth to be broadcast like a Super Bowl ad. So I did what any betrayed American husband would do. I told everyone, at the barber shop, at church, at the Little League game. I spun the story with the flair of a late-night comedian, except the punchline was my cheating wife, and the audience was everyone in town. People gasped, laughed, shook their heads. The betrayal became entertainment. My family drama became gossip currency. And in a twisted way, I felt powerful. Revenge wasn't just punishing them, It was reclaiming the narrative. At night, though, when the house was quiet and my wife cried herself to sleep, I felt the hollow echo of it all. Infidelity doesn't just ruin a marriage. It turns your whole home into a haunted house. Every room whispered betrayal. The kitchen table where we once planned vacations now looked like the setting of toxic love negotiations. The bedroom felt like evidence in a crime scene. Even the family dog gave me that pity stare like, "Man, you really got played." Still, I couldn't resist twisting the knife. I started leaving little clues around the house, parody-style reminders of her betrayal. A chalkboard in the kitchen that read, "Today's lesson, don't cheat." A note in the fridge saying, "Cupcakes taste better without infidelity." Even a sticky note on the bathroom mirror, "Smile. You're married to a cheating wife." Petty? Absolutely. But revenge doesn't always wear a cowboy hat and ride into the sunset. Sometimes it's Post-it notes dripping with sarcasm. And here's where the conspiracy deepens. My son came home one day and casually mentioned that another kid's mom was helping Mr. Harris too. I nearly choked on my coffee. Was this just my wife's betrayal? Or was Mr. Harris running a whole suburban operation? Was our elementary school secretly ground zero for toxic love? The more I thought about it, the more I realized, maybe this wasn't just my story. Maybe I'd uncovered the first chapter in the Great American Infidelity curriculum. Lesson 1. Never trust a bake sale. Lesson 2. Always question a volunteer schedule. Lesson 3. Betrayal wears a PTA badge. By now, my marriage was less about love and more about surviving a sitcom gone wrong. My wife begged me to drop it, to move on for the sake of the family. But family, in my eyes, wasn't just a word anymore. It was a battlefield where trust had been ambushed, where infidelity planted its flag. And me? I wasn't sure if I was the survivor, the narrator, or just the punchline. Except the courtroom was my living room, the jury was the entire neighborhood, and the judge was, apparently, Facebook. Once you've got a cheating wife scandal in suburban America, you don't just deal with it privately. No, you host a public spectacle whether you want to or not. And trust me, my trial of betrayal turned into the hottest ticket in town. It started with whispers. Then came the stares at the grocery store. By the time I walked into Sunday service, people parted like I was Moses. Except instead of respect, it was pity mixed with excitement. Nothing unites a community like somebody else's downfall. My wife tried to hold her head high, clutching her Bible like it was a shield against infidelity. But every hymn echoed betrayal to me. Every handshake felt like someone saying, "Hey buddy, saw your episode last week. 10 out of 10 drama." That's when I decided to hold my own trial. Call it revenge, call it a coping mechanism, call it the toxic love Olympics. But I wanted answers. So I staged what I later dubbed the kitchen court. And picture this. Me at the head of the table, our kids' stuffed animals lined up as the jury, the dog sitting solemnly as bailiff. My wife sat in the defendant's chair, aka the wobbly stool that always squeaks, while I slammed a wooden spoon on the counter like a gavel. "This court is now in session," I declared, and though it started as parody, within minutes I was dead serious. I presented Exhibit A, lipstick-stained Starbucks cups from her volunteer days. Exhibit B, a suspicious perfume receipt. Exhibit C, my traumatized retelling of the infamous classroom embrace. She tried to object, but the jury, a teddy bear named Captain Snuggles, overruled. My kid peeked in, confused, and I realized maybe I'd crossed the line between revenge and losing my mind. But hey, betrayal does that. Infidelity turns you from loving husband to conspiracy prosecutor faster than you can say objection. Now, here's the thing about suburban America. Word spreads faster than Wi-Fi. Within days, neighbors heard about my kitchen court, and instead of mocking me, they wanted in. Next thing I know, Parents are bringing folding chairs, popcorn, even notebooks. They wanted testimonies, gossip, details. Suddenly, I wasn't a humiliated husband, I was the ringmaster of the betrayal circus. My cheating wife was now a star witness in the great suburban infidelity trial, and the town was eating it up like funnel cake at a county fair. And oh, the theories that came out. Mrs. Peterson from next door claimed she once saw my wife and Mr. Harris share a suspiciously long handshake. The janitor's cousin swore Mr. Harris had been spotted at Applebee's with an unidentified woman, maybe my wife, maybe another victim in the toxic love syndicate. A guy from 3 streets over insisted the entire school was a front for some secret infidelity ring. By the end of the week, I had more conspiracy charts than a political podcast. And you know what? Revenge never tasted sweeter. But it wasn't all laughs. Deep down, I knew I was turning my family into a parody show, a punchline for everyone else's amusement. Every sarcastic comment I made, every fake courtroom trial, every public accusation, it was fuel for the fire. My wife cried, begging me to stop. "You're ruining the family," she said. But betrayal ruins a family long before revenge ever does. Infidelity digs the grave. Revenge just writes the headstone. Still, I couldn't stop. I went further. I printed flyers warning parents, "Beware, infidelity at Elmwood Elementary." I staged mock debates at the barbershop. I even started a podcast, Cheating Wife Chronicles, Suburban Scandals Uncovered. Did I have listeners? You bet. Turns out betrayal sells, and America loves a scandal with a punchline. The absurdity peaked one night when I dreamed the whole thing was bigger than I'd ever imagined. In my dream, Mr. Harris wasn't just a teacher. He was part of a government program training spouses in the art of betrayal. Operation Toxic Love, they called it. My wife was just a pawn, a suburban spy sent to infiltrate families and destabilize the American dream. And the kicker, the PTA was the cover-up unit. When I woke up sweating, I wasn't even sure if it was just a dream or some late-night revelation. That's what infidelity does. It blurs the line between reality and satire until betrayal feels like national security. Ends with me torn between roles. Was I the avenger getting justice? Was I the clown putting on a parody? Or was I just another broken American husband with a cheating wife drowning in gossip and conspiracy boards? Either way, I knew the finale was coming. The town wanted closure. The family needed resolution. And me? I still had one more act of revenge up my sleeve, the kind of ending that would either make me a suburban legend or the biggest fool in the county. It felt like a badly scripted HBO parody where the producers couldn't decide if it was a comedy, a tragedy, or a conspiracy thriller. My cheating wife still insisted it was just a mistake. The town still treated my betrayal like primetime entertainment. And me? I was running on equal parts caffeine, paranoia, and pure revenge. The American dream had packed its bags and moved to Florida. I decided the finale had to be public. No more kitchen trials, no more sarcastic sticky notes. If betrayal had turned my family into a circus, then I was going to be the ringleader and close the show in style. So I organized a family values night at the school auditorium, the same building where my wife's toxic love had bloomed with Mr. Harris. Flyers went out across the neighborhood. Parents showed up expecting wholesome PTA speeches. Instead, they got my one-man Broadway play, Cheating Wife, The Betrayal Chronicles. The stage was set, literally. I had rented props, a fake classroom, a blackboard with "Trust equals 0" written in chalk, even mannequins dressed like Mr. Harris. My opening line? "Ladies and gentlemen, betrayal isn't taught in textbooks, but my wife majored in it." The crowd gasped, then laughed, then leaned in. Revenge, I discovered, works best when it's equal parts painful and hilarious. I brought out evidence like a prosecutor on steroids. Photos of lipstick-stained receipts projected on the big screen. A slideshow of suspicious outfits she wore to volunteer. Even a reenactment of the classroom kiss, complete with a dramatic spotlight. Parents gasped. Kids giggled. My wife sat frozen in the front row, her face pale, trapped in the very parody she helped create. This wasn't just infidelity anymore. This was performance art, betrayal turned into spectacle. And then came the twist. Because in America, every finale needs a twist. Midway through my act, Mr. Harris himself stormed into the auditorium, demanding I stop. "This is harassment," he shouted, trying to reclaim his dignity. But by then, the crowd was against him. The moms booed, the dads muttered about betrayal in front of the children, and someone even threw a half-eaten churro. It was glorious. For one shining moment, revenge was mine, and toxic love was exposed under the fluorescent lights of a public school gymnasium. But here's the dark comedy of it all. When the lights dimmed and the crowd left, I was still standing there, broken. Betrayal may win you applause, but it doesn't stitch a family back together. My wife sobbed, saying I'd humiliated her, that I'd gone too far. And maybe she was right. Maybe revenge had turned me into the villain of my own story. But then again, hadn't she started this with her infidelity? Hadn't she shattered the family when she chose toxic love with a man who handed out spelling tests? That night I sat alone in the living room, surrounded by props from my ridiculous show. The mannequin stared at me like a ghost of betrayal. And I asked myself, what now? Divorce? Forgiveness? A sequel? The truth is, there's no neat resolution when your life is burned down by a cheating wife. Hollywood likes to tie bows on stories, but real American families don't get bows. We get scars, custody schedules, and awkward Thanksgiving dinners. And yet, deep down, part of me felt free. Infidelity had ripped the mask off the illusion. The marriage I thought was perfect had been a sitcom rerun, already hollow. Betrayal, in its cruel way, gave me clarity. Revenge gave me catharsis. And maybe, just maybe, toxic love gave me the push to start over. So here's how it ends. Not with forgiveness, not with reconciliation, but with me narrating my own downfall like a conspiracy theorist at a comedy club. My cheating wife? She's still around, though whether she's wife, ex-wife, or just the co-star of my parody saga depends on which version of the story you believe. Mr. Harris? Last I heard, he left town, probably starting a new program in some other unlucky suburb. And me? I'm here telling you this, reminding you that betrayal isn't just a wound. It's an education, a twisted, humiliating, painfully funny education. Because in the end, maybe that's the only lesson worth remembering. You can survive a cheating wife. You can endure toxic love. You can even laugh at infidelity. But you'll never forget the betrayal. And if you're lucky, you'll turn it into a story so wild, so absurd, so undeniably American, that people lean in, listen, and say, "Man, that can't be real." But trust me, it was.